Alright, we got another war video for you here. Stick around until the end, obviously. We're going to go over the 4 Loki player cards. But this war is number 4 against DSVG. And you can see there that we're definitely a favorite in this matchup here. But getting into it, I'm going to be scouting my paths here. And I'm actually going to be taking this Doom on node 20. Brute Force and Toggle Unstoppable. That fight's probably the coolest of the war. And then I'm going to be on path 4 in section 2. And then the initial plan was for me to take this Dormammu, and it's a rank 3 Dormammu boss. Of course, they're running Flow. So I'm going to bring Magic with the Warlock Synergy for that. And then I'm going to bring Captain America Infinity War for that Doom. Pairing him with any tech champion if he is SIG 200. He's got a 100% on parries to petrify the opponent. Obviously with Petrify on Doom, his aura is not unblockable. He actually can't even proc his aura. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pretty straightforward fight here. Pretty cool, but yeah, Cap with any tech champ is great against Doom anywhere, especially on this node because you don't have to worry about the Toggle Unstoppable at all. So you see there, I've already placed 3 Petrifies on him, and I'm just straight up going to ignore. So I'm going to ignore his aura because I don't have to deal with it at all with the Petrifies. He's just not going to activate it. And I'm also just going to straight up ignore the Unstoppable toggle. And you can also see, obviously, Captain America Infinity War's block proficiency is outrageous. He can glance attacks too. He's a tremendous attacker. I actually think that he's a pretty viable war attacker for Flow. I used to use him almost every war before Flow. And I kind of stopped just because there seemed to be better options for Flow defenders. But if you do pair him with a tech champ for those Petrifies, that can significantly slow down the power gain from Flow. And then the other thing is, if the tech champ that you pair him with is Iron Man Infinity War, his Petrifies are going to last longer. Which is great for stacking them up. I believe they reduce opponent power gain by 25%, and regen, of course, by 25%. So you would need to have 4 up to completely stop opponent power gain and regen. But yeah, pretty straightforward fight. Just basically parry heavy, parry heavy, parry heavy the entire time. Okay, and then I've got this Invisible Woman here. This is Redoubled Determination, so every debuff she's got on her, she's going to have a higher power gain rate. Now I parry her to start, and then I hit into her invisibility just to start the timer so that it'll expire. And then I'm bleeding her. She's gaining quite a bit of power here, but I'm bleeding her just to get her little shield off. Now I totally whiff on the heavy. I got really lucky that she didn't punish. I think I would have been fine regardless, but I'm gonna mess up here. Yeah, I just totally whiff on the L1 there, and there's some other point. I think that I attack into her invisible right there, and I think that when she's invisible, her attack increases pretty significantly too. So I rip off that L2 at that point. I was gonna just save for an L3, but I ripped off the special 2 mainly to get the adrenaline healing on Warlock. And at this point, I'm just going to take it super safe. Just parry, couple taps. She goes down there. So not the cleanest fight, but, I don't think that I was ever really at risk there. Now this fight, this one is kind of tricky. It's standard hype fight, but I'm not going to be using a Power Start 1 boost, of course. I don't want to waste that on something like this. But I chose not to parry at the beginning because had I parried when I attacked him while he was stunned, he would have gotten additional power gain. And all I'm trying to do is get to an L2. So at this point, I'm just going to stop attacking him, and I'm going to try to bait his special. And he just reprocs power gain. And yeah, he just gets to his L3. So not a huge deal. I've got class advantage. This ended up hitting me a lot harder than I expected, but not really a big deal. Now, one thing that I noticed actually in the middle of this fight is my current mastery build is for AQ. So I have Liquid Courage on, but no bleed. So I'm getting only half of the suicide effect for attack, and then unfortunately the poison is reducing my healing from recovery in limbo. So that's why I end up getting down pretty low here. I think I also have at least 2 out of 3 in recoil. So I'm running Captain Marvel in AQ, but I would have changed the masteries for the boss fight. I ended up not taking that boss. Our boy Pete soloed with his full ghost team, which was super impressive. But that's the war. I finished with a wholesome 3.75 power rating, only 3 fights. And this is what I'm looking at on the season. I improved to 27-4, 87% solo rate. I am currently 7th in the Alliance in power rating at 28.79. And you can kind of see, the progression there with power rating. Our boy Dreamin' got the gold card of the week. That's him getting kicked in the face by Guillotine 2099. And then PWF in consecutive weeks. This week he gets the silver. Great war for him. And then Dreamin' is the legend of the war. Season 5, he set the power ratings record. And, that was a legendary season for sure. That stood until season 17. So that is it. Very brief war, only 3 fights. Really only one cool fight. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.